The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mohsen-Zia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People, based upon a real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamohsenzia.com and www.amazon.com/Mia Mohsen-Zia.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, along with Amazon, Audible, Apple, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful lady from Pittsburgh, PA. She's a Pittsburgh-based blues gospel singer and also a frontline registered nurse, and we salute all the frontline nurses, not just in the Pittsburgh area, but throughout the United States. And she does a great job of caring about people, very compassionate. And she's also the Lady of the Blues and got a proclaimed album out there, which came out a few years ago, won the best album. And she's also part of the Blues Music Foundation nominee and iTunes chart topper. She's, like I said, frontline nurse and also leader of Miss Freddie's Blues Band and also the home cooking band, and makes me hungry for some. And she also won numerous awards and involved in many charities. So live, ladies and gentlemen, from the beautiful Plush Studios in downtown Pittsburgh, PA, ladies and gentlemen, the Lady of the Blues and the most caring, Miss Freddie. Miss Freddie, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi. Hi. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me. And thank you for that beautiful introduction. That's very kind of you. I love it.
Well, I greatly appreciate it. And of course, like I said, we salute what you do and we salute all the frontline workers, not just in Pittsburgh, but throughout the United States. You do a really good job. And of course, you're also leader of a couple of bands. And you also got an album which you put out, Lady of the Blues, and we'll be playing a single that's upcoming a little bit later as well, too. And before we get into all that, tell us how I first got started when it comes to nursing. So we'll talk about that, then we'll talk about singing.
Okay, nursing. I actually was a medical assistant when I was younger in my 20s, and I went to work with this for this outpatient center. And I saw the RNs there. They were smart. I mean, you know, they made the job interesting and fun, but they were very, very smart. And, you know, I wanted to be a doctor at one time in my life. And I said, I want to go to school. I have to support my family. And so I ended up in nursing school. And it was rough. It was tough. It was very hard. You know, the instructors, they did not play because we're the ones, you got to go out there and take care of people. So you need to know what you're doing, be compassionate about it, and keep on educating yourself because medicine is always changing. So, can I say how long I've been a nurse?
Go ahead. Feel free to talk much as you want. I mean, you're frontline, and we salute you greatly. So talk all you want about nursing.
Thank you. I love what I do. I started out, actually, I've been a nurse 33 years, and I'm still too young to retire. So just do the math.
But if you love what you do, it doesn't matter. So,
but it's been a good run of nursing, and I've done different kind of nursing, and it's not because I didn't like where I was at. That's not why I kept, changing, seeing where I wanted to fit in. I started out as a bedside nurse, medical surgical nursing. I worked for the IV team. I did home care. I worked on the trauma step down unit. And I finally found my niche, and I didn't know it. I did not realize it as surgical oncology. Dealing with patients who had, certain types of cancer. At first, it was head and neck cancer. I did that as a bedside nurse for 13 years. Mm-hmm. And then, one day, the GI cancers came around, and I did research. I used to be a research coordinator in dealing with the pancreatic, rectal, and colon cancers. And then fast forward, I finally came back, but now I'm doing outpatient. So I'm no longer a bedside nurse, but it's 5 days a week. And so I work with a great surgeon. He's very smart, well-respected, very nice guy. And I'm not just saying that. I really mean that. Very nice. And I love what I do. I mean, it's very, very sad because me being a survivor twice myself with a different kind of cancer, I know what it's like. I know what it's like when somebody tells you you have cancer, and your world has been turned around so many different ways. You can't get off from being so dizzy and lightheaded from it, Mm-hmm. But, and people appreciate it, and I've actually throughout my years involved my music in my nursing. When I was doing the bedside nursing, I used to, whenever I was worried about a patient, I became worried. I worried about all my patients. But when something was going on with the patient and was not good, or even if the patient was dying, I would go up and down the hall. And I work night turn. Yay for the night turn people. I love you out there.
and we also salute you, too. So not just the frontline RNs and the night people. Yes, and the overnights. I know what you mean.
Yes. And I love working nights. I work daylight now, but I like the night turn. But, I would go up and down the hall just singing to myself. This was before I, got into bands or anything. I would just start singing. I would just sing because I was so worried. And a few of my coworkers, whenever they heard me sing, they've gotten used to it. They're like, okay, something's wrong. Freddie's singing again. So which one of her patients is she worried about? And that became my thing. I became known as the singing nurse on that particular unit. But, I would go in the hospitals like the VA. There's a VA here. I sang at 2 different ones here. Outpatient and the one was like a care home, and then the hospital. I did shows, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then the private sector of of different hospitals here in Pittsburgh. I would go around. There's a program called Music Smiles through the Sonny Pugar Foundation, run by Annie Pugar. Sonny Pugar was a drummer, well-known drummer here in Pittsburgh, who died of pancreatic cancer some years ago. And so his wife carries on the name, and they came up with the program Music Smiles. And it invites different musicians all over Pittsburgh to go and sing for patients in rehab centers, the hospitals. I love going to our children's hospital because I get a kick out of it.
Nice.
And
very nice.
My last show there was 2 weeks before, the pandemic started, before we, everything was getting, shutting down. And that was the best time I had. I had my acoustic band with me. And my last song I did, this little girl, she sat there for about an hour or so. We were there for 2 hours. I kept looking at her. I'm like, oh. And I had a song that I wanted to do. And I said, guys, you know what? Let's do that other song. Mm-hmm. So I did. I can see clearly now. I love doing that. And I did that, and she got up and she was dancing. And I went over with the microphone, and I'm like, we're doing back and forth. I loved it.
Oh,
that made my day, my night. That just made me, and that's what it's all about: involving the kids, and even if the kids are sick or well, whatever, and their parents. I absolutely loved doing that, and I still love doing it. I can't wait till it's safe enough to go back into the hospitals, the nursing homes. And perform for folks. Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, what hospital are you currently working at in Pittsburgh? Like, say, I get sick in Pittsburgh, I end up going to the ER, I end up staying in a room. What hospital do you work at in Pittsburgh? I like to come out and hear you sing.
Oh, Mike, I work, it's University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, Presbyterian.
Okay.
That's where I work at, yeah. And, I've had a couple friends that have done that, and they know I work Monday through Friday during the daytime, and they'll hit the ER, and I've gotten a call, and I'm like, who, why, what? And, I'm thinking it's probably somebody from our team or something that needs something. And here is somebody I know, do you know so-and-so, so-and-so? And I'm like, what? I'm like, how'd you guys know? And so, but it was okay. It was all right. You know, they,
you know what? I'm getting some pains in my stomach here. It's like, I'm going to ER. I got to go to Pittsburgh right now. I got to see Miss Freddye, nurse, doctor. I got to see Miss Freddye.
Oh, man. Oh, well, you'll probably have to stand in line.
Okay, take a number and rate your pain. And if you think you got 11 on a lottery, you get to go. and of course, and we'll talk about your singing career in just a minute, along with your caring personality. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, along with Apple, Amazon, Amazon, and Audible, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here the Pittsburgh-based blues gospel singer and frontline registered nurse Miss Freddye here on the Mike Wagner Show knows how to cure the blues and does a great job. And she had an album out a few years ago called Lady of the Blues and won the best album. And she also is part of the Blues Music Foundation nominee. She's one of them. And also iTunes chart topper on a constant basis. And also, not only she does solo singing, but also leader of Miss Freddye's Blues Band and the Home Cooking Band. And before we can get to all that, now tell us how I got started about singing besides singing in a hospital.
Singing? Well, let's see. I started when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, she had bought a plastic microphone, for Christmas. And I would, me and a couple neighborhood kids, we would get together and we would sing, whatever songs that we knew that was out back then. And we would make up our songs. And then I started going to church. And at 15, I joined my first church choir, which that was a disaster because I was asked to sing a solo and it was terrible. I said, and that's it for me. I will sing back. I had it in my head. I wouldn't dare tell the adults, please don't ask me to do that ever again.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared to death. And then in my 20s, I just kept singing in a church choir. I had moved in another area, so I joined a church and sang in the choir. Kept singing a choir, didn't do solos. I was happy singing backups, a little bit of harmonies. And then it all started in 96. I was singing the song Silent Night to my youngest son. I love singing that song, to my kids to get them to sleep, and they would sleep. And so the guy I was dating at the time was the bass player of the band that I was going to end up joining. And he heard me. He's like, I didn't know you could sing. And I'm like, I didn't know I could sing either. Just trying to play him off. And he said, well, we're looking for a singer. And I said, okay. And it took him a little bit of convincing, to try to convince me. And so I did. I went to audition, and the band was in one room, and they had a 100-foot cord. And I took that 100-foot cord microphone and went in the bathroom around the corner, closed the door, turned on the water, and I started singing. That's how scared I was. I was scared to death. And I got in a band because obviously my mentor and the gentleman that headed up the band, Big Al Levitt, he's passed away since then. I guess he heard something in me, and, but I would sit behind the band facing like a wall, or my back would be to the band in the chair while the band faced the audience. I did that for a year because I was so scared to death. I just didn't want to, I just didn't want to be out there because I was just scared. I'm like, and it came from when I was 15 and that horrible solo, I admit it, but Big Al told me one day, he said, you're going to have to come out of that. People want to hear you sing. People are going to love what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a long time. And then I ventured off on my own. That was in 96. And then I ventured off my own about 2002, 2003, formed my first band, Blue Phase, F-A-Z-E. And it was different. It was different. For me, I had no clue about booking, arranging, doing anything. So I just kind of listened and learned and watched and, things that I remembered that Big Al did. And fast forward, I got the two bands, the Electric Blues Band and the Acoustic Band.
Wow.
And here I am.
That is amazing. And then later you start forming Miss Freddye's Blues Band and also Miss Freddie's home cooking band. You can tell us about those. And that home cooking sounds really delicious right now.
So the home cooking band came after the Electric Miss Freddie's Blues Band. Miss Freddie's Blues Band, how it got changed from Blue Phase to that, my current guitar player, who actually, he was in the guitar player in my first band. He was leaving in 96 when I was coming on, yeah. And so fast forward, I was looking for a guitar player in 2009. And he came about, somebody I know knew him, and he came to audition, and he started playing. I kept looking at him. I said, "You look so familiar. I know you." And we started talking. I'm like, "Oh, my God." You know, I found out who he was, and I'm like, "You're hired." You're hired.
That was quick.
I've heard you play. I think you played The Thrill Is Gone. I think you did. I'm like, "You're hired. Why are you playing? You know, why?" And so it led to, and the bass player used to run sound for me when I played at this certain winery. And he would run sound. He was recommended. And then I was looking for a bass player, and because my one bass player had left, and I said, "Okay, I need a bass player." And he was recommended. And then the drummer, my guitar player, knew him from a band. I believe they were called Jump Street back in the 80s. They played together, and he recommended the drummer. And then I have a lap steel guitar player. And he was recommended by my bass player because they both used to play in a rock band.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness.
So I have this. And, you know, my guys are very talented, and I'm not just bragging and saying that. I'm really not. I'm very proud of them because they bring to the table the chemistry, the love of music, and the fact how, and, you know, they all, you know, said, "You need to change the name. It should have Miss Freddye in it." I'm like, "But it's about us. That's why I like Blue Phase." And they're like, "Well, no, people come to see you." And I didn't feel like arguing. I said, "Okay, we'll try it." And so now it sticks. And so fast forward, the acoustic band, Miss Freddie's Home Cooking Band, Mike Houston is my acoustic guitar player and keyboard player. Well, he and I met in 96, 97. So I knew Mike all those years, and he actually played guitar for me when I started my own band in 2002, 2003. Then I got a guitar player, and he played bass. He switched over to bass. Mike's very multi-talented. And we were playing, you know, duo for a couple years. And then my percussionist, who is a conga player, Bob DeCola, he came on board. And then Ray Sherman, we have electric bass. Ray's a guitar player, but he wanted to, you know, play bass. And so Ray's been with me for probably about almost 3 years, maybe a little bit more. So I've had these same guys. And in the blues band, they're going to get me, Mike, if I don't mention them. G-Man, Greg Cassill on guitar, Greg Sacco on bass, Mick McDermott on drums, and Bobby Dill on lap steel. That's what I call him. That's my nickname for him. So those are my guys, and that's how it came about. And there's never been any interchanging. Like if I needed a bass player, it's never been that, because it's two styles of music going on. Mm-hmm. You know, if something, the electric blues band, if I do with them, I would not do with the acoustic, and vice versa. And I like that. You know, I like that about me, that I can go from one to the other. And so both bands are in demand, which is nice. Depends upon the venue. And so I'm very proud of all of those guys. And I'm the boss. Nobody wants to be the boss. Every year I try to be fair because it's important. And I respect them and they respect me. But every January, February, I ask each band, you know, I go to them, does anybody want to, you know, take over what I do? Because I have no problem showing up, learning the material, tell me where the gig is at. I'm good. And they have till the end of February because I'll start in January. And
decide now, or I'm going to be boss again. Yeah. Don't make me.
Exactly, right? And, you know, it's very interesting because it's been like this for the last, years. Since 2009. 2010, nobody wants to do that. And they will tell me, either if I'm announcing it, that night if we're at band rehearsal, or it's I'll give you a week, or, end of February. Nope. Before January's out, I already have my answer. Nobody wants to do it, So I'm the manager, booking agent. I figure out when we can rehearse, because there's never a set day because everybody has something. So we base everything around me. They said it's easier, my schedule. So if I tell them, hey, I'm available to do this gig on this day, or can we rehearse on this day? So, and I like doing it. I get to boss them.
And you're doing a really good job here. And also, do you have a website for your band as well?
Oh, yeah. I have a website, Miss Freddye, MISSFREDDYE.com.
That is fantastic, and we're looking forward to it, and we'll talk about your album, Lady of the Blues, and also play one of your latest, but first listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, along with Apple, Amazon, Audible, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here at Pittsburgh-based blues gospel singer and frontline registered nurse Miss Freddye here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we talk about her award-winning Lady of the Blues, right now here's her upcoming single called Wade in the Water with Miss Freddye right here on the Mike Wagner Show.
Trouble the water. See that host all dressed in red. God's gonna trouble the water. Looks like the children that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Well, wade in the water. Trouble the water. See that host all dressed in white. God's gonna trouble the water. Well, it looks like the children of the Israelites. God's gonna trouble the water. Well, wait in the water. Wait in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that host all dressed in red. God's gonna trouble the water. Looks like the children that Moses led. Wade in the water, children, wade. Trouble the water. Tell everybody I'm a-coming too. He's gonna trouble the water. St. Jordan's water is chilly and cold. He's gonna trouble the water. Said it chills my body but not my soul. gonna trouble the water. Well, wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. You know God's gonna trouble the water. I said God's gonna trouble the water. Oh, God's gonna trouble the
Great tune, Wade in the Water from Miss Freddye right here on the Mike Wagner Show. Fantastic gospel song. Tell us more about it and what inspired you to write the song?
Actually, it's, let's see. I actually was approached by a guy out of Ohio, Mike Morgan. And at first I thought he wanted me to just do some vocals on a CD project. And then fast forward, he's like, no, I want you to pick a song, an old spiritual tune. And I said, wow, he's like, I want to showcase you and I want you to, you sing it and we'll decide, what kind of instrumentation. I picked Wade in the Water because two reasons. I used to sing that as a kid and I loved it. I've heard it sung so many different ways. And number two, what's going on this day and age, and I know I had been singing it lately. I've done a couple shows with my acoustic act, and we do that. And it was just something I wanted to give people, when you hear the song, trying to lead you from whatever troubles that you're having and, come to something better. I don't know what that is, but, just follow the vocals, listen to the sound, and imagine yourself coming up out of, whatever troubles, whatever sadness that you're going through, you're having. And with the help of Jay Vernali, he put the Hammond B3 effect and the keyboards down on it, and I love it. And Kim Parent, she's doing the backup vocals. It's phenomenal. And so that's how that came about. And when I heard it, when they sent me the scratch of the vocals, and then they sent me the final part, I broke down and started crying. Wow. I literally started crying because I said, this is what I love. This is perfect. It didn't need a lot of instrumentation. It didn't need a lot of, vocalization going on. This is perfect. And, and I told them that, and I said, I hope people take a listen and, let it reach their heart. Let it reach, their minds. Let it reach, deep down inside them, their souls, their spirits, whatever whatever it does to them, and bring them up out of whatever they're going through. Wow. That's how that came about.
Wow, that is fantastic. Where can we find Wade in the Water at?
Well, you can go to YouTube. You can go to Spotify. You can go to iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Amazon.
That is fantastic. Once again, we're here with Pittsburgh-based blues gospel singer Miss Freddye here on the Mike Wagner Show, who also works as a frontline registered nurse in the Pittsburgh area. And a big salute to all the frontline nurses out there, not just in the Pittsburgh area, but nationwide as well, too. And in 2017, you won Best Album as well, too, for Lady of the Blues. And tell us all about that. That's a heck of an accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thanks. So it came about, there's a friend in Pittsburgh. She lives on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, and she actually introduced me to another friend of hers who lives in the state of California. And he's originally from here, but he moved away some years ago. And he's a doctor. And, she introduced us, and we just clicked as far as the whole music scene. He loves blues. He plays harmonica. He's a great harmonica player, and he sings. And so we were talking one day, and he had asked me, well, you know, when are you going to do another CD? And I'm like, you know, yeah, I was kind of like, And then finally, back in 2016, that summer, there was so much domestic violence going on. It seemed like every week it was on the news, and it was very sad to me. And I said, you know what? I got to do a CD with attention to, you know, each song that I do. It's not bashing anybody, but it's helping people come up out of whatever, and they can relate to. And they have somebody who's been there and done that.
Mm-hmm.
So Brandon introduced me to Andy Santana. He's from out California, the West Coast Boys, and Andy Santana. I love Andy. He was the co-producer, and I recorded out at San Jose at Greaseland Studios, belonging to Kid Anderson. He's a phenomenal guitar player, musician, got a good ear, young guy. He's like an old soul, but he's a young guy, and I was impressed. And I went out there and I recorded out there, and all the songs they describe something going on in life, a love relationship, someone that has strength and power, someone that there's the Dr. John song on there, Losing Battle, that he wrote in 1962. And had a musician that kind of made it famous back then. And Andy approached me and said, you need to find somebody from Pittsburgh who's a blues singer and pay homage to them. And I really couldn't find anybody. I said, I like a lot of like these famous musicians. So he came up with Dakota Staten, who is from Pittsburgh, and she passed away a few years ago. Mm. And I went on YouTube, and she's got a lot of albums. I listened to every last album. And then she did Losing Battle. And I listened to it, and I called Andy. I said, this is the song I want to do. I love this song. So, you know, those 11 songs, they're great. And Lady of the Blues was written by Steve Nestor. He's from West Virginia. He passed away the same year the album came out.
Wow.
He's a great guy. He was a pastor. And we met at a festival years before that in West Virginia, because I used to go to West Virginia a lot, from Morgantown to Beckley and in between. Mm-hmm. And we met, and you know, he had heard about me, and I think he had heard me sing, if I'm correct. And you know, he said, I would love to write something for you. And then, you know, fast forward, it came about, and I got all these musicians that I knew. Mike Lazanga from West Virginia, we co-wrote a song on there, a couple songs. I know a lot of Mikes, Mike. There's Mike Sweeney, bass player here, who writes a lot of my original. There's some of his songs that are on there. And so that's how that came about. And it was for people, victims of domestic violence. Mm-hmm. It was for those people that we have lost, those people that are still suffering through that.
Wow.
You know, for the victims and for the people who, you know, are causing the abuse. And that's where that came out of. So, and Lady of the Blues got nominated for 2 Blues Foundation Music Awards. And I was very proud. I was shocked. I was at work when, you know, I got the call. I was working at the VA at the time here in Pittsburgh, and I had to step out of the office. And I'm like, you're kidding. You know, there's people walking in a hallway, and I'm like, oh, my goodness. Hopefully, you know, I don't look like I'm getting ready to, like, pass out or something. And I got nominated in 2 categories. One was for Best, Best Emerging Artist CD. And the other one, who's my favorite all-time blues female singer, Coco Taylor, traditional blues female. And I was nominated for those. Yeah, I love Coco Taylor. Big Al told me to find somebody when I first joined the band, and he had mentioned that. He said, you know, you sound like Coco Taylor. And I'm like, ah. And so I started, you know, listening to her, because I didn't know who she was back then in the 90s. And I started listening and, you know, following her. I never got to see her live. And when I went to see her live, she had passed away the day after my birthday.
Wow.
She passed away June 3rd, 2009. So that's how that Lady of the Blues. And since then, in my hometown, we have the Iron City Rocks, where there's different categories of music, musicians, and the CD got nominated for Best Album here, and it won. And the blues band, I think we got nominated last year. We got nominated for Best Blues Band here, 2019. So even though those guys did not play on the album, I'm very proud of them. And when we had our CD release parties, they rocked the house, Mike. They really did. They're phenomenal players. And I love singing with them. The chemistry is so righteous. It makes me cry sometimes. It really does. It's tears of joy. So I'm very happy. I'm very grateful to all the musicians that contributed to that album that came out in 2017. So, yay!
And that is very amazing too. Where can we find Lady of the Blues at?
Lady of the Blues, you can find on YouTube. You can go to iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Let me see, Amazon. Let's see. I think that's it.
That is fantastic. Once again, we're here with Miss Freddye, Pittsburgh-based blues gospel singer, frontline registered nurse here on the Mike Wagner Show. A very big thank you for your time, Miss Freddye. And a few more things. We'd love to have you back in 2021 and beyond. And what can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond?
2021, yeah. So, I have two projects that I'll be working on, a Roots and Blues album and a gospel album. So expect those to come out next year. And if it's safe to do so, my European tour was canceled this year because of the pandemic. But I'm hoping that I will be able to travel to Europe and do a tour next year, maybe next fall, November, somewhere around there. So, and then beyond that, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. I want to do a Christmas album.
Oh.
So, everybody look for the Christmas album in 2022. So that is my plan.
And so we're looking forward to it. I mean, you keep yourself busy. You do a great job, Miss Freddye. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
The biggest influence in my career would be Big Al Levitt. He would be the influence. He was my mentor. He got me started. He always encouraged me. Never a bad moment, never a bad word. It took me a year. He would always encourage me. And he, finally said, you got to come out. People want to, hear you, but they also want to see you. Mm-hmm. And so he was my biggest influence as far as me getting going, doing what I had to do. And I'm always remembering my motto is what I do is not mine to keep, so I never want to be selfish with what I do. That's why I do a few charities. I'll go perform as far as in the name of music for the Autism Society here in Pittsburgh, Band Together of Pittsburgh. It's a group of guys, John Vento and Moondog, Ron Esser. They got together and they raise money and they bring awareness and they do things in the community for folks on the autism spectrum. And I'm the mother of someone on the autism spectrum, so I can appreciate that. Breast Cancer Foundation. I've performed for the Relay for Life around here in the area. I've done shows for the homeless veterans. So it's a lot that I've done. And matter of fact, I've got a couple benefits that I'm doing coming up. And I said, oh, okay, I'm busy again. It's okay. I've learned to just forget about the busyness.
Exactly.
It's going to be there. You either accept it or you don't.
And that's very true as well, too. I like that. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point, Miss Freddye?
Anybody at this point? Well, advice for musicians starting out, don't give up. because obviously you wanted to try your hand at music, and obviously you're passionate about it. And surround yourself with people who are on the same page, the same chemistry, and love what you do, and be firm about what you do that you love, because it is you at the end that's going out and entertaining. And for the everyday person, people follow me on my Facebook page. I have a personal page, and I'm all about, and by no means am I perfect. By no means am I happy all the time, but I can tell you one thing. I hear about the sadness and the depression and a lot of things that are going on right now, and I take that and I turn it. And so my advice is, focus on yourself. When you get up in the morning, or if you happen to be sitting around, go grab a mirror and wink at yourself and look at yourself. And I do it on my Facebook, and tell yourself, hey, I'm sending you mad sassy love. And that's my advice for everybody out there. Yes, it's hard. Absolutely. But you know what? You got to remember, I always say there's somebody out there worse than me, or have things going on that are worse than what I have going on. That's what I should say. And I just pray. If you're a praying kind of person, pray. If you're not, you're the type of person, just say, please give me strength. That's okay too. Because that's a form of praying, but, keep on moving, and remember to, be kind and help your fellow man. So that's what I'm all about. So hopefully everybody out there will do the same.
And that's the most important as well, too. Stay safe as well, too. Once again, Pittsburgh-based blues gospel singer and frontline registered nurse, Miss Freddye, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Miss Freddye, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic, a great inspiration. Looking forward to having you again soon. Once again, a big shout out to all the frontline nurses in Pittsburgh, especially for you, and throughout the United States as well. You guys do a great job. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, where can people purchase or check out your music?
You guys can go to iTunes. You can go to iHeartRadio. You can go on Spotify. You can go on YouTube. Type my name in, Miss Freddye. Go to my website, see what's going on. I'm going to start blogging, you guys. So, send me some subjects that you think, we should talk about. Music, gardening, cooking. I mean, hey, we could do other stuff besides music. You can go to Miss Freddye, MissFreddye.com. Go to my Instagram page, Miss Freddie's Blues. You can check me out on Twitter, Miss Freddie17. And once again, Mike, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I've got my 2 projects coming up that prayerfully they will be out in 2021, a Roots and Blues album and a gospel album. So thank you again, and I really do appreciate it, Mike. And I really do, and thank you.
And appreciate it. God bless you too, Miss Freddye. Thank you for your time. You've been absolutely great. Looking forward to again soon. Do us a favor, keep in touch and keep us up to date. We love to have you back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.